Hello, everyone. This is Tamara Childs, your psychic and intuitive on One to Listen, and the host of Elements of Wisdom radio show. And today I'm here with Ruth McCants for our summer series. Hey, Ruth.
Hi there, my dear. How are you?
We've just been dealing with, the weather here is really interesting. Even though it's summer, it's like murky and cloudy outside. So we've been trying to figure out our light. And here we are on a Thursday, June 29th, to talk about.
I'm really thankful it's not 112 here.
Yes.
Yeah, see, in California, it's been 112, 120. So I'm being very thankful.
Yes. This is a good week for thankfulness and for you tuning in on YouTube. This is our summer series where we are looking at the energy patterns each week and giving you some tools and some remedies if needed, maybe even some recommended tinctures depending on the topic, and just talking about what's up in the energy universe, because it's important to have this kind of support. And when you're going through challenges in your life, often you'll think that it's just you, but actually you're marinating in an energy soup that everybody's in and everybody's having that experience. And so we just, one of the things that helps us when we become anxious or tense about what we're going through in our lives is to name what we're tense about. And so that's one of the reasons to do the show.
And today, since Tamara and I were talking about stress and what it means. And since I like that soup that we're all in this energy soup together, de-stressing becomes a very important aspect of connecting with self. Because in actuality, what does stress do? It deconnects, if there's such a word as deconnecting or disconnecting, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits from within ourselves. We get separated. So this is a really important discussion.
Yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate you tuning into the channel here. Just to lay the backdrop, there are a lot of tension points in the astrology right now, but one of the main ones is that we are all in the Cancer time period, and that's opposing Pluto in Capricorn. And so we are in an oppositional frequency. It's a feeling of a little bit of pressure. And I think of Pluto as, it's not the IRS necessarily or the government, although Pluto in Capricorn is a little bit that, but it's sort of this, it's like, I always think of it as a giant presence that's like, are you sure that you want to be who you're going to be and make the changes that you want to make? It's like if you were in a wrestling match with a very, very large mountain-like person and you're just trying to get your part done and they're sitting there like this. And so that's all it is. This is a good tension because I feel, Ruth, that this is actually creating who we want to be in the world. Right. It's just a little bit of pressure.
I'm glad you said it's a little bit of pressure. As I was thinking about the astrological points right now, we have Jupiter in Libra, and these are all cardinal signs. This means that there's a lot of restlessness. That's the word that comes to me. In fact, I just wrote a blog post. If anybody has an opportunity, jump over to my website, soulsoundinsights.com, and I refer to the cardinal signs. These I call them restless critters. So all of the astrological points right now, you have Jupiter in Libra, Uranus is sitting in Aries. It may not have as much influence, but it has some. You have Pluto in Capricorn and the Sun right now sitting in Cancer. So we have all these cardinal points. Mm-hmm. And so all that restless energy is churning around, as you put it, in the soup is really kind of bubbling up. Yeah, and we're all feeling it.
And Mars is also in Cancer. And
that's right. Thank you. Absolutely.
And the other interesting thing, I don't know if this is the moment to bring it up, but I think Chiron is going to begin its retrograde coming up in a couple days here. And so, even though that's a harmonious energy in a way, I mean, if you can ever call Chiron harmonious with some of the other things, there's a very deep review going on for a lot of people about, it might come up as, well, why am I not making this change? Or why do I feel this way? And also with the Cancer energy, we have to pay attention to our need for comfort and our emotional home. What is good for us? What,
That's right.
and we may be feeling some stress and tension with that. You had an interesting point that I wish you would just say while we're on the air about what you feel this Pluto opposition is for people as well, that has to do with the old and the new.
Yes, I was saying there are a couple things. First of all, when you have Cancer, we're dealing with the moon and we're dealing with our emotions. We're dealing with what's down underneath. And you make the point that if we don't give time for that nurturing of self, things don't work quite the way they need to. Pluto in Capricorn, you have the Saturn effect of having everything in its decided place. So you have these conflicting energies. How do I nurture myself and still have all my ducks in the proverbial row? And that is where the tension, because oppositions mean, how do I relate to this side of myself, my nurturing side? And then how do I go about keeping things moving along?
Yeah. I always think of the opposition as a sort of a slingshot that's pressuring you to really grow to the next level, or make a choice, make a decision. Really,
but it has to be a blending, actually. But it really does need to be a blending, because we've got to have some nurturing, and of course we got to have some structuring, because that's the bare bones of things. And we have to. Who's the mediator in this whole thing?
Yeah, who is the mediator?
Who is the mediator within ourselves? Where do we find the mediation?
Yeah, where do we find the mediation? So maybe we can look at that today, because I know that there are so many clients that I'm speaking with right now who are in this, it's like the growing phase. It's like a young plant that's just, getting some hailstorms on it, and it's getting a little beat up here and there, but just growing and knowing, and just because growing is what we have to do. And there's a lot of growth happening for a lot of people. And the same old things, the issues, we call them issues, that crop up that bother us, like this person has it, this boss had it, that boss had it. Similar patterns allow us to grow forward. And I feel that there's just a decision moment that we each have when we're having sort of the same pattern offered to us over and over again, and we're having kind of a similar response. Like, say you have an overbearing boss, and you've had an overbearing boss, and your parents were overbearing, and your pattern has been to feel under it and complaining and, less than and victimized. What this energy would be calling forth for us is to move into almost more of an emperor position in your life, where you just decide that you are going to be, the executive of your own life, basically.
That is an absolutely marvelous point, because we really are not socialized to think of ourselves as being the emperor or the empress of our own lives. And by the mere fact that one can nurture oneself by making a decision that I'm going to sit on my own throne, as opposed to having somebody else sit and tell me what to do. So that is an excellent point. It's like juxtapositioning two things that don't seem to go together, but they do, because we do need to nurture ourselves by being for yourself.
And at the same time, it's not very comfortable when we have these moments where we step into bigger shoes. And so there's this energy right now where what we have to do that is that emperor, empress, that next step, it's not comfortable necessarily. And all the Cancer energy is going, I just want to take a nap, or this is too stressful for me. My tummy is bothering me. And it's sort of that energy that happens. But we go through these growth cycles all the time. And the way that I see it is each person is a rose, and each growth cycle is a petal, and you're just growing out.
You know, that makes me laugh in the sense that we're growing. I think of the symbol of the Cancer, the crab, and the crab. Now it's like, don't think a crab can't grab a hold and pinch you with those little pincers. And sometimes it is necessary for us to literally grab a hold and say, I'm staking my claim, because Cancerians can do that. They do that very, very well.
Well, they're cardinal. And so
that's right.
And so basically what we're talking about is, you know, the king has fallen and it's time for the prince to step up, and the shoes are too big, but everybody's like, okay, your highness, I know you're 9, but get up there. And so, and it is time. And you have the right, this is for people listening, to do what Ruth just said, and you have the energy inside of you, and supported by what's happening with the cardinal energy that we have, to get your pinchers and just take what's yours. Just own it. And it may not be comfortable at first. At first, it's a little bit of faking it and saying, I'm taking this space for me, and I'm not going to be a doormat, or whatever the pattern is for you personally.
Yes. Because everybody has it in different areas. If you and Tamara knows this, that I use the astrological chart as a map, and your map at this particular time gives each one of us clues as to where those critical areas are that we need to address at this time. So you don't have to worry about looking at somebody else's map, just look at your own map.
Yeah. And of course, the map is inside you already. So it's already in evidence in things that you struggle with and the things that are coming up for you and coming to a head for you. So you have everything you need. And sometimes all you need is somebody to highlight what's on the map, or, give a piece of guidance, which is kind of what we're offering here. So Ruth, let's go through, we're going to do a little card reading for the week for this energy and everything that's coming up for people. Do you want to start with your cards?
Okay. And I think my cards really address exactly what we're talking about. I pulled my first card from the Sonia Choquette Follow Your Vibes Oracle cards. And here's the card. It says, share a breath. And that is wise in terms of our whole theme of stress. The first thing we need to do is take a breath. Because in my observation with myself and other people, we stop breathing. The moment, our shoulders go up and our necks come down, and we hold ourselves and we quit breathing. So first of all, take a breath, share a breath. So that's my first card.
Nice. And, Ruth, I forgot to tell you, last week's radio show, Elements of Wisdom on 1-2 Radio, everybody, if I should put the link in here, we talked about self-care. And we talked about that there are things like you're talking about the breath and how we hold our breath. And it's like the tension will just start to come over us, and we won't even realize we're kind of a mess and we forgot to eat, which is a no-no when you come to Cancer. Cancer wants you to eat.
That's right.
And there are ways, and one of the things, and I didn't get to show this because it's a radio show, but Jin Shin Jitsu is a wonderful modality that just uses the meridians of the body, and each of the fingers are organ flows, like the heart, the lungs, the livers, the middle finger, the kidneys here, and the nervous system here. And so the prayer position everybody, is it actually harmonizes your entire organs system. Isn't that interesting? That
Yes.
the prayer position is something that will make everything feel harmonized.
And if you use the prayer position, but you can also go down to the proverbial Pisces feet and give yourself a self massage. If you just take your feet and just rub your feet, and what would be lovely is if you had somebody else who would be gracious enough to rub your feet.
That's right.
but you can lovingly rub your own feet.
Yeah.
And that's another, because here's this position, and also down with the feet. Those are all remedies for taking and sharing a breath, because particularly when we touch our feet, we go, ah.
Unless you're ticklish, but yes. Well, and well, you continue, just share the.
Okay. And then my second card is, and this is a balancing of the opposition that we're talking about. Here's the Cancerian, nurture yourself, share your breath, but you can still have accomplishment. And this card comes from the Spirit Oracle deck by Mel Brown, a wonderful reader from Australia. And so here's accomplishment. Here's everything that we desire, but we have to do it with flow, as opposed to grabbing it.
Do you want to share the rest?
That's all I had. I drew only 2 cards for us.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay, I guess I was the one going crazy.
Yeah, you had more. I only had those 2 because I said we can deal with 2.
Mine actually go, they're very different. But 3 of them kind of go together. I drew 3 water cards. And again, I never know, well, what is the tone of the week? What is the message for everybody? And I drew in succession. This is from the Thoth deck, the Knight of Cups, which is an active messenger bringing new situations through invitations, through things that make you feel good emotionally, things that are interesting and intriguing. Sometimes it can be romantic. And it was followed by the Ace of Cups. I love this card in the Thoth deck. And this has to do with not a situational thing. This is pure divine love. This is everyone being touched by, if you'll take care of yourself, you will begin to feel this overflowing, amazing, just pure divine love. And it can come in many different forms. I wouldn't say what form it will come in for those watching, but just be aware that your cup runneth over right now.
Yeah, that's a very good.
The Page of Cups. So we have 3 water cups cards right here that are basically saying that there's an invitation right now through the emotional body. And it's important I always like the Page of Cups because she reminds me of the little girl or boy in us, the child energy, the one that just is loving the blocks or the paints or whatever the child loves and is enthralled with through the emotions. Let your emotional body basically has many gifts and messages for you right now. So I love those cards. And
Kyla, it's interesting. Tamara, it's interesting that this is a cup also.
Yes.
And it's like those cups, they all go together. This is really like the Ace of Cups right here.
Well, and also to me, this is saying that the way to accomplishment is not through a hard, dry, stony Capricorn Pluto. It's through the Cancer energy.
That's right.
That's how we can accomplish, is through what feels right to us. I want to share 2. The red chakra fairy. And this is, I think, the first card. And what this implies is that there's a way for you who are watching, there's something you've been thinking about stepping out about, or a reveal of you taking some space, taking to the stage, being in front of people, having your voice heard, whether it's a blog that you're starting or a group that you're starting or a new job that you're starting or whatever it is. Allow yourself to kind of have the spotlight a little bit. That this really speaks to the card that Ruth had of accomplishment. And there's a lot of respect coming to you through doing this, through stepping forward. The accomplishment is there. And you can do it with this watery attending and respecting the emotions. So,
and if you take that breath, as because what we said originally about making a decision to own your personhood, and taking your own throne and crown, but you take a breath and then you step out on the stage.
Yeah.
The red chakra fairy.
Ruth, I think we're at time. You and I have a time limit on our weekly videos.
It just goes so fast. It just goes so fast when we're talking.
It does, but we've had a lot of great information. This is a time where people are feeling the pressure to move to the next level in who they are, and there's lots of support for that. Mm-hmm. And I would love for people to find us. Ruth, tell people what you have going on and where they can reach you.
Well, please reach me at soulsoundinsights.com. And a week from now, next Thursday, I'm having one of my Soul Sound sessions on Zoom. Yeah. So you can sign up, come to my website and just sign up for Soul Sound sessions. And we're going to be talking more about the moon and the kinds of things that we're talking about today, particularly looking at the connections, the oppositions, the conjunctions, the various astrological aspects. So come and join me next Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And let's see, what time is that Eastern time? That's Eastern, 3 hours, 10 o'clock. Was that 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, we're in different time zones. Yes. And everybody, you can reach me for a reading at one2listen.com. And my radio show is on Fridays, and it's Elements of Wisdom, 12radio.com tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I'm beginning a new series on that show called Living with More Presence. And that starts tomorrow, the new series.
That sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need more presence.
It goes with everything that we're talking about. And it's been so fun to visit with you, Ruth. And I look forward to next week.
Yes, indeed.
See what the energy's doing next week.
Thank you, Miss Tamara.
Thank you. And bye, everybody.
Bye.